Hello everyone, Semi-Retired Bob here. I talk about the carnivore diet, all things related to the carnivore diet, and miscellaneous odds and ends. And we're getting ready to get down to Texas to start my off-grid living here. This is Evmux. Basically, I can shut that stuff off or turn it back on, because I'm on the free version still. I'm trying it out for a little bit. But I can replace that overlay with an overlay of my own, and we'll just see how this goes. Paul is here. Again, I say, damn the carbs, full carnivore ahead. How are you doing today, Paul? Thanks for stopping by. And Charger Mopar Rick is here. I've been exploring my garage. I saw your short on that. Yeah, that's quite the mess you've got in there, Rick. So tell me what you think. Do we want to go with this view or this view? The smaller Bob or the bigger Bob? Which one do you guys like better? Let me know in the comments as we go. Let's see here. Rick says, I found a replacement circuit board for my air conditioner. Nice. Yes, Bob ducked StreamYard. Yeah, I got rid of StreamYard because they went... I was paying $24.99 a month for it. And starting today, it was supposed to go up to $45 a month. That's a huge increase. This version of Evmux is free. If I decide to go with the paid version and I pay for it a year at a time, it's only $19 a month. So I'm going to try the free version for a couple weeks, see how it goes, explore some other options, see if I like those, and we will move on from there. Now let me see if I can figure out... There we go. Okay. Shut that off. Oh, I think I needed to... I forgot to hit the scroller button on that thing. Let me see here. Edit. No? Okay, well anyway, we'll go on from there. Let's go ahead and put the email up there. And let's go back to the comments, see where we're at here. Craig is here. Texas Bob is looking good today. Hello, Craig. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I've actually had a very busy day. I rearranged how I was thinking about loading things, and you'll see that in tomorrow's video. I got the extremely heavy box of my portable garage loaded into my trailer, and I got it slid mostly all the way to the front so the weight is distributed from the tongue back towards the wheels. I was going to put it on the very back of my pickup, but that box is so heavy. It's about 300, 325, maybe even 350 pounds. It's really heavy. So while I had the back end of the trailer open with its ramp, I kind of slid the box up the ramp and got it in there that way. And you'll see that in tomorrow's video. Patricia is here. Hello from Indiana. Hello, Patricia. I hope you're having a great day today. I haven't figured out the backgrounds yet. For some reason, every time I try to load up a background, it freezes the whole system up on me. That's why we're on just the green screen behind me. But I'll get it figured out at some point here. So far, I like it pretty well. It mostly works the same as StreamYard. Just a few little differences here and there that I'm still learning about. Keto Carney Cajun is here. Bonjour, Bob. Happy Friday. I like the fact that it's got, you can't see what I'm pointing at with my mouse clicker, but down there on the scroller on the bottom, it's got the current time on it, which I think is kind of cool. And And Rick likes the bigger. So we'll switch to that for a little bit and see how this goes from there. John has arrived. Hello, John. Bob, I'd like to think you moved the time of the live back by an hour to accommodate my schedule. Anyway, I'm glad of that. I'll be able to catch the whole live today. Well, I'm just kind of playing with it. I don't know if I'm going to stay at this time or change times again or whatever. I've just been kind of decided to play with the time a little bit because I was originally even an hour later, but there were so many people that were doing live streams on Friday evening, and during the summer I work at the miniature golf course. I have to be there by about 4, so I was scheduling to be live from 2:30 to 3:30 so that I could leave here right after the live stream and still get to the miniature golf course by 4 or shortly thereafter. So I've moved it back here and we'll see how it goes. Craig says he likes the bigger image better as well. Alrighty. See what else we got here. I like my little Bob, though, great for loading. He is talking about his Bobcat loader. For those of you that aren't familiar with that. Let's see here. I have followed Bob since he interviewed me. I'm very glad of that. Let's see here. Thoughts on giving up seasonings. You know how we Cajuns are. Yeah, this is a very interesting topic. And what I would say to you is give them all up for now. Start by going to just salt. Then after you have cleansed your system, once you have cleansed your system, sorry, the Evmux was doing something weird. Hopefully you all can still hear me. I guess the free version I can only record for just so long. And that's what I had a thing pop up on the screen telling me the recording was stopped. Okay. Stop the salt go to just salt for about 30 days. I know that's going to be tough because you're a Cajun and I know how much you love your seasonings. But you want to clear all that stuff out of your system. Then, one at a time, add seasonings back. Just one. Hit a seasoning, add it to your food, let that seasoning run for 3 or 4 or 5 days, and then see how you feel. Then eliminate that seasoning and go with just salt for another few days, and then add your next seasoning. And work your way through that process so that you can tell which seasonings you might react to and which ones you don't react to. Because I didn't even realize for myself that I was having problems with black pepper. Because I've always used black pepper. I've used a lot of black pepper on stuff. And I think it was Nisha that was talking about this one day a couple of years ago. But I said, okay, I'll give that a try just to see. Because all I was using at the time was salt and black pepper. I cut out the black pepper. And I didn't really notice that I was feeling better during the cleansing portion of it. But then, when I went to add the black pepper back, it really made my joints hurt after not having had black pepper for a while. So, I haven't used it since. I've discovered that I can use red pepper and not react to that. So I will occasionally throw some red pepper in with my eggs just to make them a little spicier. A lot of times I'll just take some shots of Frank's hot sauce and throw it in there, because that's basically Frank's red hot sauce and Tabasco are basically just red pepper and vinegar. So that's my suggestion on giving up seasonings. You don't really have to give them all up permanently. Just give them all up for a while and then add them back in one at a time. Are you going to keep putting that same comment in until I show it, Craig? There you go. I figured that eventually the flood of carnivore YouTubers would dry up before I do regular lives. And eventually the lives have slowed down a lot. There are still a few people out there doing lives. There for a while, I guess it's been about a year ago now. I mean, there was just, you could not turn on YouTube at any time of day or night and not find somebody doing a live about carnivore. It has since slowed down. There are a few people that I watch that still do mostly regular live, but that's so that's why I keep changing the times around here. And John has a question. So when do you head down to Texas? Sometime in the next couple of weeks. Let me look at my calendar here. I've got a live stream with Dave Mack again on the 6th. I don't necessarily have to stick around for that. The 13th will be the absolute latest, 13th of November, but I may get out of here before that. We'll see how the loading process goes. I'm hopeful that the trees in my front yard will finish shedding their leaves, because I'm still going to get leaves blowing in from neighbors, but if I get all of my leaves ground up and either ground up as mulch on the grass or bagged up, again, you'll see some of that in tomorrow's video. For you channel members, that's already out there in the queue, so you can go watch it after this live stream is over if you want. You don't have to wait till tomorrow because you're a channel member. But we'll see how it goes. I've had a long day today between, I ground up the leaves in the front yard. I ended up with about a half a bag of leaves that I had to pick up and put in a brown bag to go out to the trash on Tuesday morning. I loaded I loaded all my solar panels into the trailer, and I loaded the 2 big boxes from my garage. I loaded the big heavy box that has my portable garage in it, and then it's another big box, but it was very light in comparison, that's got my 4-wheel cart in it. So I've gotten a lot of stuff done today. Plus I went out for a walk to record the talking section of tomorrow's video and did a really good sprint up the last section of that big hill. So the short answer to your question is still sometime in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the very most. We'll see how it goes. Just depends on how much I get done. I need to get a couple of boxes to put some stuff in, and still decide where everything is going to fit and if it will fit or not. I mean, I want to carry my Starlink in the cab of the truck with me, so that if something would happen and I need to get in touch with people and I happen to be in a spot where there's no internet on my phone, I can quickly set up the Starlink and get out that way. But we'll see how that all goes. Now, we're back here. Charge and Mopar. Never understood the need for seasonings. Yeah, well, go hang out with some Cajuns for a while and you'll get there really quick. Okay, you know that anything later than 2:30 Central disturbs my happy hour bar hopping. Well, you're a carnivore, Craig. You probably shouldn't be drinking in a bar anyway. If you're going to have a little something, have some actual hard liquor that doesn't have carb in it, and drink it at home so you don't end up getting picked up while you're driving. Yes, Craig, it's about time you showed up. And let's see here. Hello. Yes, I am. I'm getting anxious. I'm ready to go. There's still, the primary thing I have to wait on is for the leaves to come down in the front yard. I can't do the backyard because I don't know why it is. It's just maybe the type of trees they are, whatever, but my two big ash trees in the front yard are almost always the first bare trees in the entire neighborhood. On the other side of that, the one tree I have in the backyard seems to be the very last tree in the neighborhood to shed its leaves. So I usually just let those fall. Just before I go, I'll go out and grind up whatever's come down in the backyard. But for the most part, I just let those lay out there till spring, which is why my backyard is always so 90% dead every spring, because the snow usually comes down before the leaves off that tree in my backyard do. So, but yes, I'm ready to get down there and get started. If nothing else, just to give you guys something new to look at, as well as myself. I think it was the whole Carrie Homestead How thing that touched off YouTube Carnivore explosion. It was pretty big before he got into the scene, but he was a big channel before he went carnivore, so he's got a lot of reach out there, so it kind of seems that way, but I don't know what touched it all off there, Rick. Let's see here. Most new carnivores fall back the duck food within a year. Yes, they do. I've followed several people that looked promising. They had shown some good results, and then they've just disappeared. Yeah, I saw that comment. No, I'm not going to paint the inside of my trailer green. I'm not going to paint it sardine color. I'm not going to paint the inside of that trailer. Hopefully this is the last winter I have to live in a 5x10 cargo trailer. My overarching plan, hang on a second, I need a little sip of water here. My plan, if all goes well, and I get the shipping container spotted this year while I'm down there, depending on how much stuff I still have left here, I may not bring the trailer home with me. I may put the trailer inside the shipping container and store it in Texas while I'm back up here for the summer next year. If after I get everything loaded that I can fit in there this year, I'm going to look around and see what else I'm going to need to take down with me next year. And if it's more than I think I can fit in my truck, then I'll have to bring the trailer back so that I can haul more stuff. And I may take everything out of the trailer, including my bed and my dressers and everything else, and put all that in the shipping container so the trailer is completely empty when I bring it back here. I know the trailer is going to come back here at least one more time, and that's when I make the final move to live down there full time. I'll want to have my empty trailer with me so I can throw my 2 desks in, my big bed from here at the house, that kind of stuff that I'll be taking with me to Texas when I finally make the move to go down there full time. But we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Yep. Yeah, we've missed seeing you around, Craig. I'm glad you're here today, though. And let's see here. Are you planning on taking some sardines down to Texas with you? I don't have any right now, and I'm not planning on getting any. I did find, and I'll probably use them for target practice while I was, and you'll see just a brief flash of them. I was doing some talking while I was loading the trailer, and I wasn't happy with that, so I ended up making that a music section. So I took the audio off of the trailer loading today and went out and took a walk and recorded more stuff. But you'll see me fiddling around with the bucket that's in my trailer. And I lifted up a bag of empty bottles, and underneath of it was my fire extinguisher. And for a very brief flash, if you pause the film right there, you'll be able to see that for some reason I still have 4 or 5 cans of cod liver in that bucket. And I will probably use those for target practice when I get down to Texas, because I'm not planning on eating those at all. Let's see here. Yes. Yes, you know one carnivore who will be around even after YouTube goes the way of MySpace. Absolutely. And I haven't said this in a while. It's in my video. It's in all my video descriptions. But I do mirror most of my videos out on Rumble. So if you want to go look me up there, feel free. But I'm not planning on stopping making YouTube videos anytime soon. But we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. Franny's here. Hello, Franny. I'm glad you made it. I am so hoping you have a great start on your new property. Me too. We'll see how it goes. I have no idea what to expect. It's going to be interesting. You know, if everything goes to crap, it's only going to take me about an hour and a half to drive over to Addicted to Antlers' house, and I'll just park my trailer on her property for the rest of the winter, because I'm not coming back to Omaha this winter no matter what. Stop drinking at the bar. You're double and triple posting comments. Yeah. Ducks love sardines. That should tell you everything you need to know about sardines. Let's see here. Oh, we haven't talked about cerule yet, so let's go ahead and talk about cerule real quick. Very briefly, you all know about cerule products. We have our own adult stem cells in our body that our body produces, and they float around in our blood doing magics. After the age of 18, our own ability to release our adult stem cells goes down. That's part of the natural aging process. I'm not saying that Stem Enhance Ultra will... There's a bottle of it. Stem Enhance Ultra. Come on. Focus. Okay. Well, anyway. Maybe if I put it back here. There you go. Now all that stuff's in focus. But it will stimulate the release of your own adult stem cells. So if you're interested in something like that, there's a link down in the description. If you want more information, send me an email at semiretiredbob@yahoo.com. Excuse me. Or Professor Bart K has an entire playlist of informative videos about this topic. So let's get back to hit the like button, please subscribe. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and put that one on there for now. Or we can just shut it off. Oh, I see some more comments have popped up. Let's go ahead and see where we're at here. Oh yes, the very first video I show from down there, I'm just going to walk the perimeter of my property and show you where all 4 corners are at. hopefully just before I film that, I will take 4 T-posts and pound them in at the corners of my property using my GPS locators and all that stuff to make sure I'm in the right spot. But yes, I plan on walking in Texas. Some days will be longer walks than others, just like here, because I'm also going to be digging in the dirt down there to start the process of all of that. Although the first video might actually be me assembling my portable garage, because that's one of the first things I have to do when I get down there, because as you'll see in tomorrow's video, I've barely started loading the trailer, and there's no way I can sleep in my bed until I get the garage set up so that I have a place to put stuff out of the trailer to turn it back into a living space. But yes, I'm going to be walking. My goal is by the end of it's 6.5 miles from my property to I-10. I'm hoping to at some point walk from my property to I-10 and back again. We'll see how it goes, how much work I get done, how much my walking progresses from there, because that'll be, a good 13-mile hike down to the highway and back. But yes, I am still planning on walking when I get down to Texas. There we go. Addicted to Antlers says, I have a large driveway, Bob. Great. The perfect place to park. Some of my stem cells are duck cells, though. I wouldn't doubt that at all, Rick. And let's see here. Panda Chicken Mama. I'm at my Texas place for a bit. Just got my container delivered today, too. Great. Great. You'll have to let everybody know how that went. Like I said, I'm right between, looking at the map, I'm at either no frost line or 5-inch frost line. So just to be safe, I'm going to dig down 5 inches. Now it's going to take a long time unless I can find somebody with power equipment to do it, because I'm going to dig 5 inches down, a full 8 feet wide and 40 feet long. Then I'm going to put some gravel in it, about 2 inches. I'm going to put a plastic layer just in case. There shouldn't be any moisture coming up through the ground in the desert, but just in case, I'll put a vapor barrier of a sheet of plastic down, and then put another 3 inches of gravel on top of that. Pack it all into place really good, make sure it's level, and that's the foundation. I think that should be plenty of foundation for spotting my shipping container when I get down there. Once it's set, it's set. I'll be able to jack it up a little bit here and there if it ends up slightly off level, but I'm hoping to get my foundation as level as possible so I don't have to do much of that once it gets going. And now I am on the free version, just in case the live stream ends abruptly in about 45 seconds here. I don't think there's a time limit on how long I can run on the free version, but just in case I disappear in about 30 seconds, you'll know what happened. Yes, awesome. So what size shipping container did you get? Did you get a 20-foot, a 40-foot, a high cube, or a regular? I'd be interested to know what kind of shipping container you got. All this bar hopping has me imagining that Bob drinks out of a pink water bottle. We've had this conversation before. I have a pink water bottle because I was promoting these at one time, and the pink was a lot cheaper than any of the other colors. Just like when I show you my travel case for my Starlink that just came in the mail a few days ago. It's also kind of a pinkish looking thing, but they had black, they had brown, they had tan, they had green, and they had pink. but the pink was half the price of any of the others. And I don't care what color stuff is. So my travel case for my Starlink is pink because it cost half as much as any of the other colors. And that's why my water bottle is pink as well. Your bar hopping is serving you well, Craig. I hope not. We'll see. Just a scout trip? No. Well, no. I'm going to be down there for until spring. And hopefully what I plan on getting done while I'm down there this winter is getting the foundation in place for my shipping container, get the shipping container spotted, and start digging bathtubs around some of the scrub trees that are down there in hopes of getting them to grow more. I don't think I'll get to building the roof this year, but we'll see if I can find somebody with some kind of power equipment nearby that can dig my pond for me. I'll have that dirt, and I will start filling earth bags for the outside insulation on the shipping container. I'm definitely going to grind any rust spots off the shipping container I buy and then repaint the whole thing. I have quite a few projects to get done on the outside of it. I'm not going to start building the inside of it until the roof is in place over the top of it. And probably not until I get the fence up around the property. But we'll see, like I said, we'll see how everything goes. What's your water source on your property? The roof that I'm going to build over top of my shipping container, it's going to be a big roof, not just a big enough roof to cover the shipping container. I'm actually planning on buying the supplies, and I'm going to put about a 24 by 56 foot roof over top of the shipping container. And that will be my primary source of water collection. And I haven't decided exactly where I'm going to go with the storage. I hope to at some point dig some underground cisterns, but I also want to get about a 2,500 gallon poly tank, or I may just go with 5 to 10 300 gallon IBC totes. I won't know that till I get down and start exploring the area and see what I can actually find. To start with, I'm just going to be buying 5-gallon jugs of water from whatever store sells them down there. So I'll have to, I'll run to town and buy 10 of them at a time at 5 gallons each. That 50 gallons of water will do me for a week or two. So we'll just have to wait and see how it goes. I already have some bottled water I'm going to take with me for the trip down and the first few days down in Texas. And I'm just going to play it by ear from there. But eventually, I'll have a big rain collection roof built, and the water will run off of that into whatever storage I end up with. I'm kind of getting used to this Evmux thing because in StreamYard, you guys' comments were coming in on the right side of my screen, and in this, they're coming in on the left side of my screen. And it looks like we're still live, so we didn't run out of time there. Curb Splitter's here. Afternoon, Bob. Afternoon, all. Hello, Curb Splitter. I'm glad you made it. And Key is here. Hello, Key. I'm glad you made it as well. And Bert is here. I checked you can stream up to 2 hours, maximum 30 hours a month. I'm assuming that's on the free version. But if I go every Friday, I'm not going to hit that. So I could just stay with the free version. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'm going to try it for several streams and then go with, if I end up liking it, just to have some other options. Like this overlay, I can't upload my own overlays or upload my own backgrounds. until I go to the paid version. They have some backgrounds, but none of those worked right, so I still have a lot of stuff to get done. I only spent about an hour and a half playing with this total time before today's stream, because I'm also working on some other project. A minor little letting the cat out of the bag. I'm looking at switching from Premiere Pro to DaVinci Resolve, because I still need to find something that's free or a one-time purchase for photo editing, and then I'll make the complete switch, because I'm paying about $60 a month for the full Adobe suite. And looking back over the last year, all I've really used is Photoshop and Adobe Express for making my thumbnails, and Premiere Pro for editing my videos. I've been playing with DaVinci Resolve, which is a very good free version, or for a one-time payment of about, I think it's $235 or $265. For less than $300, I can buy their studio version, and it's a one-time payment. So rather than shelling out $60 a month for editing software, I'm playing with DaVinci Resolve to see if everything that I want to do on it, if I can figure it all out. And I started working on that because Premiere Pro just had a big update like 2 weeks ago, and I've been struggling to find where they moved stuff through. So that's when I downloaded DaVinci Resolve and started playing with that as well, because if I have to relearn Premiere Pro to do all the things that I want to do, I may as well make the move to DaVinci Resolve at the same time as well. So thanks for that information, Bert. Charger Mopar says, Pink Panther would approve. Okay. Tall Cedars, have you met your one neighbor? No, I'm not down in Texas yet. I'm still in Omaha. We talked about that earlier in the video. It's going to be a week or two, maybe as much as 3. The 13th is the absolute cutoff, hardline cutoff date for me, 13th of November. I definitely want to be moving by then, but hopefully I'll get out of here sooner. It just depends on how the loading process goes and if the weather continues to cooperate. Because this morning it was 45 degrees. Let me take a quick look at everything here. It's currently up to 62 degrees in Omaha, and they're calling for an overnight low tonight at about freezing. But as we get on into Sunday, Monday, they're looking at mid-70s, and then Tuesday they're calling for mid-80s. But then Wednesday and Thursday cooling back off next week, so we'll see if there is any chance that it gets cold enough to snow. I will pick up the pace on what I'm loading and get out of here all that much sooner. I'm kind of dragging my feet just a little bit because I like going to my Tuesday dance class, and we're set up so that I'll be able to do dance class remotely once I get down to Texas. I just have to get a couple of sheets of plywood and stick them together with some wood to make myself a little dance floor down there that I can tap dance on. And then I'll set up my studio, and I'll be able to talk to her live in her studio, and we can do it that way so that we can start working on the dance for next spring. But we'll see how all that goes. So, like I said, the 13th is the hard cutoff date, but hopefully I get out of here before then. Bob needs a GoFundMe for a mini excavator. I don't know. I don't know that I would. I don't know anything about them. I don't know anything about running them. I don't know anything about updating them or doing maintenance on them. I mean, Sean Overton at what the heck is his channel? But anyway, he just bought a mini excavator because he was driving by an auction and picked a mini excavator up for $2,000 out the door. It was brand new, had 0 hours on it. It was one of those cheap Chinese mini excavators, and he's had to replace some hydraulic lines on it already because it was leaking as he took it off the trailer. So there's a lot of maintenance in running heavy equipment like that, as you well know, Rick, from running your Bobcat. Average yearly rainfall at my property is about 12.5 inches, which isn't a lot. But once the rain roof is set up, it should, if I get even half of that, if it's a light year and I only get 6 inches of rain, the rain roof will be big enough to give me plenty of water. At 12 inches, I've calculated it out. I forget exactly what it is, but 12 inches of rain on the rain roof that size should give me roughly 15,000 gallons of water a year. When I was living out of my trailer in North Carolina, I was going through about a gallon of water a day. I figure I'll be in the desert. Even if that doubles to 2 gallons of water a day, that's only, that's less than 800 gallons a year for just drinking water. And then, of course, I have to do dishes, I have to wash my clothes, and then I need all the rest of that water to start watering plants and things to try and get stuff to grow down there in the desert. So yeah, the answer to that is the average yearly rainfall on my chunk of land is about 12.5 inches. As far as winter goes, the one thing I do know is that, now I don't have the actual stats for my property, which is 16.5 miles northeast out of Van Horn. I'm basing all of these stats on what the county seat of Culberson County, Van Horn, reports. And they average 2 measurable snowfalls every 5 years. So I shouldn't ever have to really worry too much about winter. Get the 2,500 gallon HDPE water tank, storage tank. Yeah, I would like to. Those are expensive. At some point I will get one. But I eventually want to get all the way up to about 15,000 gallons of storage. Now that's going to include however much I can fit in the pond that I have dug, plus a couple of, in watching Frugal Off-Grid dig his own, I can fairly easily dig an underground cistern that'll hold about 2,000 gallons and channel water into those. And between the 2,500 gallon storage tank for the drinking water and then a series of underground or above ground cisterns and ponds and things like that, plus some IBC totes. Like I said, I'd like to eventually get to about 15,000 gallons of water storage total throughout the property. Rick says, I will hit the yard sales again tomorrow, see if I can find a decent computer so I can edit videos as well. Kitten Live is what I would use. I don't know what that is. Oh, Jonathan's here. Hello, Jonathan. Glad you made it in. We got about 15 minutes left, so if you have any questions or comments, be sure and get them in there now. I look forward to your off-grid content. I do too. And Rick says it was 87 degrees here today. Bob thinks he's Fred Astaire. No, but I have been dancing since I was a kid. I know I'm not very good, but it makes me happy, so that's what I do. Yes, equipment is constant labor to keep it going. Still beats digging by hand, though. Maybe. We'll see. Which is why I've talked about finding somebody with a piece of heavy equipment near me that I can get them to come out and do the work for me, because everything I want done, other than all the bathtubs around the trees, which I'm just going to do by hand with a shovel and my mattock, but if I'm willing to pay somebody to come do that, because I don't think it'll take more than a day to a day and a half to do everything I want to do. Because all I really want done is the 5-inch trench for my shipping container foundation and a pond. Somewhere between a half acre to an acre, as deep as they can get it. And that's about all I really need to get done. Bob will have the only pink shipping container in Southwest Texas. Now, it's actually, I'm planning on painting it white to help reflect the sun and the heat. I'm definitely going to use, there's some like rubber-based paint that they use on the top of RVs to help reflect the sun. I'm going to definitely use that on the top of the shipping container. And I may go ahead and do the sides in that as well. It just depends on how far it goes and how expensive it is. But I figure that's my secondary line of defense, and then I'll put the roof over top of it, and then fill the dead space between the roof and the shipping container with straw bales, and spray the straw bales down with mud slip to keep bugs out of it. And that should be a very good line of defense against the sun beating down on me in West Texas, to keep the shipping container at a livable temperature most of the year. Glad you keep dancing. You can keep the dancing up while down there. You can keep what you've gained from it. Yes. And like I said, I've been dancing since I was about 4 years old. It makes me happy, so I keep doing it. And Craig is bumping a whole bunch of comments again. You're drinking a little bit too much there, Craig. More info from the interwebs. The annual rainfall can range from 8 inches in the deserts of far west Texas to 56 inches per year in the swamps of East Texas. Yeah, so even if it goes low and I only get 5 or 6 inches, my rain roof will be big enough to capture that water, and I'll have at least drinking water and enough extra to start some projects. Because I won't be, that's why I want bigger amounts of storage, because hopefully I can get it down to where about 7,500 gallons a year covers everything I want to do, so that if I have 15,000 gallons of storage, I can get through a dry season and still keep things moving forward, growing, because, you know, I've talked about I need to grow some, not necessarily grass, but some kind of shrubs and scrub that ducks and chickens and pigs and goats will like to eat. Now we've got about 10 minutes left, and it looks like I'm missing out on some comments here, so let me go through here really quick. Hope you make some shorts. Feel like we're all on an adventure. Yes, I plan on doing some of those as well. You'll have to pack your pond with bentonite clay for it to hold water more than likely. Well, depending on where I'm at. Where I'm at, I think once you get down just a couple of inches, I'm gonna run into very heavy clay anyway. So I think once it's dug, I'll be able to take my tamper and just pound down the clay to make it hold water. If that doesn't work, I may just buy a couple of big billboard liners and just line it with plastic and make my pond that way. We'll see how it goes. And I'll have to talk to you later about bentonite clay, where to get it, how much it costs, that kind of stuff, because I may have to go that route as well. I don't know. The biggest thing to start now is getting the hole dug for where I want the pond to be. T.L. Scott says, any plans for a septic tank or a good old breezy outhouse? I'm actually planning on using the Arizona-style composting toilet system, which is 250-gallon barrels buried in the ground, using one while the other one sits and ferments, composts. And that's what I'm planning on using for now. If you look in the bucket, in the video tomorrow, use that bucket I have. That gray bucket is actually my off-grid toilet to start with, because instead of just a regular lid, I actually have a toilet seat lid that clicks onto that bucket. Yep, I'm gonna be pooping in a bucket. Carnivore Muscle, hey Bob, have you heard of Tristan Haggard? He's an OG'er. I have not heard of Tristan Haggard, and I don't know what OG'er means. Sorry, I'm an old guy. I don't keep up with the terminology you kids are using these days. I used bentonite clay when I dug the well at my lot with my homemade auger attachments. Okay. Love swamps myself. Good. I need a lot of bentonite clay for a pond we dug on our mountain property with the bulldozer. Pigs are good to pack and seal up a pond. Old timers would use them for that. Alrighty, I'll have to look into that. And let's see here. Maybe there's feral hogs where Bob will be. I certainly hope so, because they won't be so feral. Okay, Off-Gridder. Okay, he's one of the first carnivore YouTubers. He lives in Bolivia or something unusual. Well, I will have to look him up and take a look at his stuff. Let me write that down. Tristan Haggard. Okay. Excuse me while I write that down on my sheet of paper here. Yeah, so I got the... Where was I? Okay. Ducks also seal up a pond. Yeah, I'm guessing pretty much any kind of animal will work. Pigs, ducks, whatever. But like I said, I got my refrigerator and my freezer loaded in the big heavy stuff. Now I may have to scooch stuff around, because I'm going to load one of my big batteries in the back, because I'm still planning on taking a bunch of pre-cooked burgers with me, so that I'll have food for the first week or so. And I'm probably going to need to rearrange things so I can pull the freezer up to the front and put one big power station up there in the nose of the trailer, so that I can plug my freezer in and get it running for the drive south. So I'll have that stuff. I will probably make a video of watching me cycle through, because I like them. It takes longer, but I like them. I like burger patties the best when I do them in my cast iron skillet. Unfortunately, my cast iron skillet's a little small, so I can only cook 2 at a time. So it'll take a little while to get. I'm planning on doing, because the burgers come in a box of 32, and I'm planning on doing at least 64 burger patties to take with me. So that will take a while, and hopefully I get a video made of that. See here. I have no idea what I'm going to use to protect the critters yet. I'm a long way from critters. At least 3 years away from having critters, because I've got at least 2 more summers that I'm planning on coming back here to work at the miniature golf course. And I'm not going to get critters until I move down full time, because once you have critters on a homestead, it's a lot harder to get away. With enough water, Bob will need a load of Muscovy ducks. I am planning on having ducks at some point. Hopefully I can get the pond set up and get some stuff growing around the outside of the pond, and then I'll be able to get some ducks. But we'll see how it goes. Bears and coyotes would eat any animals that I might use in our pond. Oh, are there bears in our section of the desert? I didn't know that, but that's good information to have. And yes, Doug and Stacy use sawdust, and I'm gonna buy a bag of sawdust for the first, and then when I get down there, I'll see what's available locally as cheap composting materials to put in my bucket. Let's see here. You may have already mentioned this, but are you going to use pipe for your roof poles? Actually, no. I'm going to... Everything for my roof I'm going to buy new, unless I find a lot of good used stuff. I'm planning on building the roof with wood. So the main roof support posts will be... I'm planning on using 6x6 poles set in the ground for the four corners, and then 4x4 posts around for support. They used to have used drill stems from oil rigs. Okay. I'm looking at quail. We'll see. I still think I want to do chickens. I think pretty much where everybody starts is chickens, but I may start with rabbits. We'll see how it goes. No, Bob. Bears on our 80-acre... Oh, okay. The other one. Okay. Antlers. Will you be making bear skin coat for your granddaughter? Maybe, Craig. Okay, well, that brings us to the end of today's live. It was a lot of fun today. I think the test of Evmux went very, very well for a first time. There were a few little glitches in there, but not too bad for a first time. Hopefully I'll have the background thing figured out for next time, but we'll see. Because it keeps locking up, I might have to upgrade before I do background, so you may see this green screen again next week. We'll just have to see how it goes. But I hope you all have a great weekend. Don't forget, get out there, be 1% better. Today, tomorrow, every day. Have a great day, folks. I'll see you in the next one.